But now, why do people get pissed if you say West Covina and you're from Covina?
Honestly, I don't know. I grew up and I left.
Wow.
Right.
But you grew up in Covina.
I did.
That's charming as hell.
I mean, kind of. I mean, it was Covina, and then I moved to the desert for a while.
What? Which one? 29? Please don't say 29 Palms.
No, I didn't. No. Like a Palm Springs area.
Okay, so you weren't overcoming your brave struggle against meth. Okay. What part of Palm Springs?
Honestly, I don't know. I was a kid. I was like, it was Indio, Palm Springs.
Indio, boy, oh boy, the boring capital of the world.
La Quinta.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the country club was my backyard. Yeah, for sure.
So did you have a annual pass to the Roy Rogers Museum over in Victorville?
I was a kid. I don't know. I was 9. And there was nothing there when I was 9. It was nothing but dirt.
Did you now being in Covina? Did you ever go to that playground, the park with the jet plane? It's got the old jet plane in the sandbox.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's a world. It's famous.
It is. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Oh, that's right. You were born in Covina, right?
No. I just played in that park with the jet plane in it.
Jeff's mom's water broke on the way to her abortion.
You're a horrible person.
I am.
Now, okay, when do you decide, okay, what is a life coach?
Yeah, talk to us.
Tell us who you are first.
Mystery Woman. Marilee. Yeah,
Marilee. Okay, so
that's an incredibly adorable name.
Marilee who?
Marilee Sweeney.
Marilee Sweeney.
Now tell us more. When was someone else in the family a life coach, or
no? As a matter of fact, yesterday I did a show and we were talking about it, and he, my guest Davey, was like, well, "What is it? What did you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "An interior designer."
Really?
And I actually was an interior designer, but we didn't get into that topic. But what was interesting is he said, "You are an interior designer. That's exactly what you are." And it really is.
Oh, yeah, on a metaphorical level. Ah, our guest is playing on 2 levels, boys.
That's right.
And Marilee, you've raised a beautiful family. I just want to tell you that.
Dan.
I see the boys every so often here and there when I'm in Upland.
Oh, the glorious city of Upland?
Yes.
When's the last
City
time?
of Gracious Living.
City of Gracious Living. Or the city the Polish mayor used to deal meth to bikers.
Yeah.
And he was the secret owner of, secret owner of the Chronic Cantina as well, where sneakers used to be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that place.
We won't say his name because
Sneakers.
Jeff occasionally has cigars with
No,
him.
I don't care. Benny doesn't care either. Yeah.
So, what were mom and dad?
What were mom and dad divorced?
Yeah, you're a normal Southern California native, all right.
Absolutely. My parents divorced when I was 4, and I hadn't seen my dad since.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. When in Michigan, I remember when it was like junior high before we moved in, there was like the one kid, and they'd whisper, "That's the divorced kid." His parents are divorced. And I came out here, and everybody's parents were divorced.
Yeah. People don't know how to keep it together, and it really hasn't changed.
Wow. And we have the Beach Boys in the ocean, and they still can't.
Right. It's really a sad state of affairs, actually. And the bottom line is people just don't know how to love. And that's what I teach.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Sign us up.
I do. As a matter of fact, I'm working on a project right now called The Game. And it's the game of life. But what's so fabulous about it is it pertains to both men and women. And it's not just the game of love as in romance, but it's the game of life, meaning it'll cover romance, it'll cover business, all your relationships, friends. It doesn't matter. The rules still apply. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, when is a life coach's? When did you decide you became an interior designer? Mm-hmm. And then when did it just creep up on you to be a life coach?
When I was going through my divorce.
Oh wow! Okay.
Right. Yeah. I actually, the interior design part was something that really didn't take off. I was raising my family, and I did it, and then I got more involved when I was going through my divorce. But then I started to realize, is this really what I want to do the rest of my life? Because I was starting to get busier and busier and busier, and then I'm like, I really don't care, honestly. And what I loved about it is going into people's homes and getting to know them and then creating a space around them. But the best part of it was they would always be telling me everything about their life. And I'd sit there and I'd be giving advice, and it was the best part of what I did.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, and, you know, from there, it was a personal journey, really, of enlightenment. And I reached a point where I committed to love. That's what's in the Bible. That's what I've done. And it hasn't been easy.
Wow. Wow. Interesting. Your sincerity, you know what I mean? I mean, you have like a wave of sincerity that's really charming. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I hope so.
And has there been anyone you've said is unrepairable as a life coach?
No, I've never actually said it's unrepairable.
Have you said it to yourself?
Yeah. In all honesty, yes. And it's not that they're unrepairable. It's that they themselves have not made the commitment to repair. Wow. So I can't help you if you don't want help, you know? And I've had people come to me, there's so much resistance. I've had people cussing at me and yelling at me, but you don't understand, you know, that's, you know, kicking and just fighting whatever it is I'm trying to enlighten them about. When they take my suggestion, then I get the gratitude. Oh, really? Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Now, what is this sort of thing a life coach looks out for? What is the things you want them to change, that sort of thing?
Well, okay. Well, first of all, let me clarify a little bit because, you know, the term life coach, first of all, is it covers so much, and yet it doesn't, because it puts you in a box of what a life coach does, and I don't think I fit in that box, so I don't think it's a good title for me. But
wow.
it's one that people can relate to. So it's like, all right, she's a life coach. So I'm sorry, what was the question? What does a life coach look for?
Right.
I don't look for anything. Honestly,
Really?
I don't look for anything. What I do is I teach unconditionally. I send my message out there. If people hear something that they like, I hope that they implement. And I always tell people when they come to me, I will not chase you. I'm not holding you accountable. If you want the help, you're going to stick by my side.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, if you start to drift, I'm not going after you.
Wow. Basically, the I'm not your mom speech.
Yeah. Because, you know why? Because I can't force it on anybody. If you want to change, you have to be on your knees, basically, saying, hi.
Oh, Marilee, Marilee, the incredibly equally charming Josephina.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Our ratings just went up when you guys hugged.
I know, right?
Slower. Perfect. I forgot. Dan should have told you both it was Bikini Friday.
Oh,
wow. Wow. Get over here, you. Hello. Morning, Josephina. Morning, Marilee. Wow.
Good morning.
Wow.
Okay. Now, let me tell you that we have two musical guests today.
Okay.
They came in. They're going to play a few songs.
Wonderful.
Their original songs.
Okay.
Let's introduce them because I don't know how much time they have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hey, come on in, musicians.
I'm just hanging out. Don't mind
Yeah,
me.
please, we're honored you're here. Jeff is bringing in the dirty, long-haired hippie. Wow.
Man, Jimmy Ganzer, songwriter. How you doing?
Yeah, see, one guy looks like the musician, the other guy looks like the manager.
Oh, yeah. Kind of works out that way.
Jimmy lives in 29 Palms, and his manager lives in Claremont. Wow.
How's everybody doing?
All right, so that's Jimmy Ganzer, and what's his name?
Joe Carrillo.
What?
Yeah. Joe Carrillo.
Joe Carrillo. Pleasure, sir. This is the lovely Marilee, and the equally lovely Josephina, and the handsome Dan the Man Rump.
I saw Jimmy play. I saw his band, The Fallen Electric, and they were playing at, where were we, at Grazi's or something?
Yeah, that was the first time.
And,
They were throwing Jeff out, and he thought one way to stay in a little bit longer would be...
they played this one original tune, and that they're going to play right now, called "Never Seen the World." And I said, "This is my song, man." You know how you connect. with
Actually,
the
they wrote a
song
song for you. They also wrote a song for you called "Jeff Sargent's an Asshole," which I'm hoping I'm hoping you guys will turn the B-side. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So first the song Jeff likes, and then Jeff Sargent's an Asshole, boys.
You also know guys all went to the same school. You were
We
all the
kind of,
same age?
we did, and it kind of worked out where I met them probably around 5-6 years ago, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, that's
And you
crazy.
guys were all Montclair Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And you guys were all playing the original music, writing songs.
Right.
And who's our other guy? Danny Avila.
Danny Avila of
Philosophy of Soul.
Yeah.
All of you guys,
Yeah.
man. I think you guys are the most talented young musicians in this around right now.
Since the band Soul Coughing, another
I
big
wish,
fan.
I wish we could play. I wish my generation could play as well as you guys did.
Oh, granddad.
Okay, let's get started,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, we right on.
Well, I don't
All right, the boys are going to play a tune.
Sing right there.
Have a seat.
Right here, right there.
Do they, hey, Dan, do they need a microphone or can we hear them?
No, they're just. This is going to be organic. This is going to be
Organic.
This is going to be organic. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure the mics are on so that way we could hear them good.
Jeff, these mics are on, right?
Oh yes, they are.
Because
Should
you
we
would
get a
have.
little closer to them, or?
Sure.
Or you know what? It's gonna.
Oh, the, oh.
All right. Let's hear it.
Favorite verse of the song, boys.
Okay. You want the one?
There you go. She's getting tingles.
Twice and choose. It's no ordinary life for you or for me. Think twice, know that I have never seen the world. I've never seen the world. Feels like a title live inside the question, the answer. Nothing is ever more alive. It listens, you listen. Feels like I'm running out of time. The question, the answer. Everything seems to fall in line. It listens, you listen. Make time realize you'll never see inside. You'll never see inside. Please believe, try and see. This isn't just a dream. As the eyes watch and sing. Feels like a title live inside the question, the answer. Nothing is ever more alive. It listens, you listen. Feels like I'm running out of time. The question, the answer. Everything seems to fall in line. It listens, you listen. As it calls and leads away. As we all turn the page. Just can't wait another day for this life I've heard it's not the same. Think twice and choose. It's no ordinary life. Feels like a title live inside the question, the answer. Nothing is ever
twice. Know that I have never seen the world. I've never seen the world.
Wow, very nice, fellas. Wow, wow, wow.
Hey, man, that is awesome. That's my song, man. How do you like that, Cheryl Lee?
Cheryl Lee?
Oh, wow. Wow, Marilyn. I know who you are, Marilyn. And you too, Josephina. Yeah, but I don't want to say Jeff's obsessed
Rewind
with them,
that.
but he's just changed his Facebook status.
What do you think of Jimmy and Joe from the?
Great.
Wow, Jimmy and Joe, we actually have two live females in the studio who are both grooving your music,
Hey,
which
that's right.
proves your effects. We use these two lab rats to gauge the popularity of your music.
All right,
I
now.
was actually thinking, I'm like, wow, there's like nothing but just your voice.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Like, wow, it's
Yeah,
really,
Like I said,
really
this is all
beautiful.
organic right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me being a punk
we
rock
got
guy,
12 strings and
like,
two voices.
like I like 3 chords and fast,
Mm-hmm.
but I really enjoy your music, and your voice is like soothing almost.
Yeah, no,
I
you know
mean,
what?
it's great.
It's like a decaf Friday. How long have you been together? How long have you guys been playing?
We've been a band since 2012. We've been a band for 5 years now. He just actually came last year.
Okay, get up to the
Go,
microphone.
come on up to the microphone, hippies. There's 2 microphones.
Let's do that.
You don't want to move our renamed guest? She's staying right there.
Yeah, Cheryl Lee, you know.
Cheryl Lee and the
Introduce
Touchstones.
you to Marilee.
He can call me Flower if you want.
Wow, flower.
She's a life coach. And
She's
she
been-
teaches about love, and
I
you're
do.
singing about
She's
things
been
that we love.
She's jotted down so many changes for Jeff, she broke her pencil.
This is the show about love.
This
today.
is the show about love.
All right,
today.
boys, what's the name of the band?
The Fallen Electric.
The Bong Electric?
The Fallen Electric.
Oh, okay. The Bong Electric.
What's our last
I was going to say it's a little drug oriented, but hey. Wow. And you guys have been, the band's been around for 5 years.
Yes.
But he just joined last year.
Just joined last year.
It was a year, what, in Halloween?
Yeah, it just passed,
Something like that.
actually, yeah.
So, do you write all your own songs?
Yes.
Wow. And
Yes.
where do you get your inspiration?
Basically, it's basically what's going on, like whatever is going on in the time of my life at the
Right.
time, you know, or what I'm feeling usually.
Mhm.
Is usually kind of like my inspiration of how, you know, what the things that line up in that time period
Mhm.
basically are, you know,
Right.
what's going on. You know, the best time to write is like 3 in the morning.
That's
That's
right.
just-
It's
This
a
is true.
magical
It's
hour.
the
That's
witching
exactly
hour,
right.
yeah.
Although,
That's what he does when he's writing articles and stuff. He's up at 3 in the morning.
if anybody
doing it.
calls, I have people who will text me at 3 in the morning because they know I'm up. But to quote F. Scott Fitzgerald,
Right.
it's always a dark night of the soul at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a comedian whose quote is, "Nothing good ever happens after 3 a.m." And I think that's when you're either in prime creativity or you're limping
right.
you're limping to the barn. You know what I mean? If you've got no inspiration, by 3 you're gonna call it.
Oh, yeah.
But if you start at like 11, which like Jeff's been over when I've been writing, by 3 in the morning you are in full flight. There's no distractions. There's nobody
That's right.
calling.
That's
You don't need coffee. You just have this euphoria. If the writing goes well, you know, and I assume it's the same for you guys. If the writing goes well, you're in full flight by that hour. And if it isn't, you're either bickering or having a very bad night.
Yeah, yeah, and it's that, you know, it's kind of that hour that you don't really. It's almost words you can't really say normally, in like, you know, at regular
During the
times,
day?
during
Yeah,
day
with the
and all that.
distractions of the day. Yeah.
And
You know?
you're thinking of stuff that's like, wow, that's not normally what I would write or say, you know, and it's that hour that does that. You
So
know,
it's like your
because-
soul coming out.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Now,
So-
when I'm up late writing, because I still, to this day, I write jokes.
Oh,
And
you should share some with us on this show.
because I sell them. Once I sell them, and they're not mine, they're another stand-up's jokes. But no, but I'm up at 3 or 4 in the morning, you know, on my computer writing jokes. And
Dan is still running for Bob Hope.
yeah.
and that's what I mean. I'm
How
so
come I don't get any emails back from Bob Hope?
I just appreciate all our creative people that do this at 3 in the morning, you know, and they come in here at 7.
That's when I hit my life. If I hit it falling at 3 a.m. and I'm here at 7, it's a very bad morning.
Yeah.
No, when you guys started writing, what is your favorite type of music?
90s grunge and alternative.
Yeah.
That's where
kinda-
we pull from.
Yeah, like you know,
That
when you're playing
explains
out,
the-
when you guys are playing for money and stuff to everybody, you're playing cover tunes and stuff,
Right.
and they're good. It's the stuff I like to hear. But you guys do some hard. You guys are rocking and stuff out
Right.
there. You got hard
We
rock.
were so impressed
Right.
with the Spin Doctors bumper sticker on your car.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeff said you guys had a soul coughing tribute band.
Oh man, you know, that's the B side, but
Yeah, we'll play 2 Princes like 10 times in a row.
Awesome. it'll be
I already got.
It'll be 20
I'm gonna
Princes by the
download
time you're
this
done.
into my.
and
What
so
do you call these things? MP3
MP3.
player.
and sell it at the swap meet.
I will play them on my show.
nice.
Nice.
Wow. They have guys great music. So your products in the 90s, which explains all the friendship bracelets.
Right.
And although sadly you're in a world that
You
no
know.
longer takes pogs.
Right.
Oh, says you. I've got my collection under my bed
I
right now.
know. You guys are from the Pog generation.
Yeah.
Because I live behind a comic book store, and
Get your patchouli rock
Yeah.
modern
Yeah.
lifestyle.
we had all you Pogs and Slammers, man. You guys coming in and buying Pogs and Slammers.
Yes.
At the comic book store.
Pogs and meth and
Yeah, Jeff was using it to buy meth.
Now, you guys have another original song to play for us?
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, we
This
can.
is Jeff Sargent's an asshole.
Let-
by
let's-
the-
We got.
I'm gonna kill you, son of a bitch.
hey, Jeff, give out our phone number in your radio
Oh,
voice.
yes. I
This is
forgot.
Jeff Sargent, 909-360-3330.
Okay, let me do it
Or
in
my
my
name is
radio
Jeff
voice.
Sargent.
Welcome to the Jeff Sargent Show. You can call in and ask questions. Call in 909-360-8330. That's 909-360-8330.
I like the.
I screwed that up. Let's hear some music.
I like the 17,
Let's
affected
hear the
grandma.
next. What's the name of this song, Greg?
Automation.
Yeah, we'll do
Automation.
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 On a mission or automation?
Yes. Automation.
On a mission, like Blues Brothers. Okay.
Did you make up that word? Is that an adjective? What is it?
On a mission, it's 3 words actually.
Yeah, I should know. You're an English teacher.
Sadly, it is.
All right.
On your marks, get set. Go, Joe.
This is Ranger Cucamonga's Kevin Cup.
Sounds good.
Let's just go spend some time on what was recreated.
Nicely done, boys. Thank you very much, gents.
Thank you.
And now let's plug our sponsors, okay?
You and me, our dear friends at Pacific
I want to
Wine.
drag these guys in. It's all going to fit together here. Our sponsors, Pacific Wine Merchants and Cigar Exchange in downtown Upland.
Not a metaphor. That's
Fine cigars, Patron cigars, finest wines, craft beer, right there at the Metrolink station.
Live bands.
I want
entertaining.
Jimmy. I gotta hook you up. You gotta talk to Benny. He books all the music there. We gotta get you guys playing there. Pacific Wine Merchants. You guys would do well there.
Sweet, yeah.
And you know, we've had groove session there several times, and you guys were all part of the family.
Yeah.
So we got to get you guys to play there at Pacific Wine Merchants and Cigar Exchange in downtown Upland.
A wonderful place. All sorts of craft beers. Very nice. Very charming.
And we meet we met a few actors there. We met Bill Cobbs there.
Bill Cobbs of a
Tommy Lasorda comes there and buys
Tommy
cigars.
Lasorda in Little Upland. How great is that?
In Little Upland, right there, a proud sponsor of the Jeff Sargent Show.
Not Tommy Lasorda.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Lasorda is done with the supporting losers this season.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming in, man, and that was great, man, to hear it live.
What's your next gig, gents?
What's your next gig? Yeah.
We're doing Friday in Huntington Beach, a place called Perks. It's beautiful. It's off of Main Street. It's right down the street from the beach. If you just look out, you can see the ocean.
Wow.
And the next day, we're doing a purple party. It's a benefit for pancreatic cancer. It's going to be great. It's in Montclair. At the Dragon's Tail Brewery.
Where's that at?
That's in Montclair. Okay. So not far from here.
Where about? What street is it on? Do you know?
I can look it up. 6th Street or something? No. We're on 6th Street now.
Yeah, I can't remember the street right now.
Your hometown, and you don't know.
It's
an
easy Google search.
Wow. When you turn to Google,
just Google it. Okay?
Just Google it. Yeah.
You're talking to us when we're sober here. We usually we're usually drunk off our ass when we pick up a guitar.
It's Sober Friday at the Jeff Sargent Show.
That would be off of Vernon Avenue.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh yeah, 8920 Vernon Avenue, Suite 122, Montclair.
Come see the Fallen Electric.
That's amazing.
Support a good cause.
He even did it without having to Google it. We'll delete that part out later, Josephina.
We're the band that actually makes flyers and actually advertises it.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
It's like,
The conceit of the band is that it's still the 1990s.
yes, and you know,
Pogs are still a rave.
Pogs are still in fact, they're cutting the show early. They don't play on Wednesdays because they go home early to watch 90210 and Melrose Place.
right.
The first 100 people to the show get a free Fallen Electric copper slammer.
There you go.
Bring your pod collection.
That would actually not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
I actually kind of
Get your Fallen plug.
We'll just merch everything. Take a page out of Gene Simmons' book.
There you go. Exactly. He married the most beautiful woman in Skinemax and sold
Now we're talking.
You could sell your own coffins.
Yeah, sell your own coffins. Although for a beginning band, selling your coffins kind of a bad idea.
We gotta get those coffins in there. I mean,
You can sell your own Fallen Electric power breakers, you know, with the logo.
You guys might want to give your
yeah.
You might want to give your seats to the Big Bopper. I take the two of us in this one, boys. Wow. So yes, the ultimate '90s tribute band.
All right.
in full effect for y'all.
I want to. All right. We've got. We got 15 minutes, and then we're going to speak to the writer of Jaws.
The great Carl Gottlieb, also author of The Jerk, winner of several Emmys, actor, writer, director.
Right.
Directed a really great movie called Caveman from the 80s. Caveman was sort of a send-up of all the Caveman movies. And then the year after Caveman opened, there's some cool trivia. The year after Caveman opened, a movie came out from French Canadians called Quest for Fire. And it was taking seriously half the things Caveman made fun of the year before. So Carl literally directed a Beatle. He directed Ringo Starr. Here's a great story about
Didn't John Matusik play in that?
John
too?
Matusik was in it.
Yeah.
And a big football player, Barbara
Bach.
Barbara Bach.
Yeah.
Barbara Bach. Carl told me this great story when I was writing my book, my first book. Carl told me this great story. Everybody did a read through the night before in Ringo Starr's room, or in Barbara Bach's room, out of deference to their leading lady. And then when everyone got up to go, Ringo stayed sitting on the bed, laid back on the bed while, he just stayed on the bed and everyone else left. And then he said about 2 or 3 weeks into production, his cameraman goes, "They're in love," which can be better or worse, but you know what I mean? I mean, for a movie. Because if they break up, it'll be a really bad breakup for the movie. You know?
Didn't Pauly Shore play a role as a caveman in one movie?
He didn't play the caveman. You were thinking, you should ask the 90s man. That would be Encino Man.
That's Encino Man. That
Starring Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, George of the Jungle,
Yeah.
The
There
Mummy.
you go.
Why Hollywood won't cast Brendan Fraser anymore. You see that on YouTube, it pops up.
I'll tell you why, but it has to be after we're taping. I told you to start. Yeah.
Inside story.
Let me just put it this way. When I was covering Journey to the Center of the Earth, Brendan was feeling no pain, and the publicist goes, "This interview is canceled. He's not talking to the press today." I would mime something, but I don't want to get fired. Suffice to say, there's a reason the studio just wrote a huge check to get The Rock in for the next one, and made even more without poor Brendan Fraser being there. So,
Very nice.
that was the name of that tune.
And you have Marilee here for life coaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
She also wrote down.
I might need her as a coach right now.
Marilee, you got it. Do you do a YouTube channel?
I
show?
do have a YouTube, but it's really Facebook.
You're not going anywhere. You're here for
You know
both
what?
hours.
Facebook's the best way to reach out, I think.
It is.
As well as YouTube. Even though this show is on YouTube, I suggest everybody click onto our YouTube channel here at Chaotic Radio. But, as we're live streaming here also on my Facebook.
And it'll link to your page. It'll link to
And it'll link to your page and your page and your page.
Yeah,
We light the match and then the fire spreads. And that's how
right.
it works.
There you go. See?
That's awesome.
Nobody's moving. Everyone's hanging out. Let me ask you guys, when you started playing, what were some of the things you were most nervous about? What the things you're most worried about? What's come true? What hasn't come true?
Well, I think one of the pains of playing, particularly in Southern California, is you have a lot of bands starting out around here. So when you play, you likely somebody in the audience is in another band.
No.
And with arms crossed, very jaded audience.
Yeah.
So
Us musicians can usually kind of point that out because we can tell, he's a musician.
Yeah, he's not impressed, or he's
looking at me
overly
funny.
jealous,
Yeah, exactly.
or he wishes he can be playing with us.
You guys are trying to sleep with the same waitress?
Yeah, you usually have some guy eyeballing us from the back end.
No,
but
we
we try.
come up and say, "Hey, you guys want to open up? You guys want to throw a jam? Or you guys want to play?"
Well, yeah, just that really gets us to go say hi to that guy and say, "Hey, so what do you do?" And we just start networking that way. So
Yeah, or they usually will end up coming up to us and be like, "Oh yeah, well I'm in a band too," or they'll usually end up saying something like that, and we're like, "Oh, that's kind of how we network then," and they'll come up, they usually come up to us, but yeah,
it turns out to be fun at the end.
Yeah,
of the day.
it's always fun. At the end, and
To your point though, it is really funny from my perspective because
Yeah.
I know exactly what's going on. So when you
Right.
have people looking at you like that, I know, all right, I'm sizing you up.
Uh-huh.
It's everything in life is about love and money. Everything is about
Wow,
love. It all
wars
boils
and
down to
everything
love and
else.
money.
Right.
So what they're doing is they're looking at you with jealous eyes, right? Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah.
So what they're saying is, I'm insecure right now. You guys are really good, and I'm not happy about it. So that's the insecurity. Why are you insecure? Well, because if they're better than me, I'm not going to make enough money.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
So
are like a self-help Surrey.
and I mean,
Well,
that's really, you need to self-reflect on that because there's really no such thing as competition.
There
What
isn't,
we're
no.
doing is we're creating our own world. So that's their world, and that's pretty cool. But
Right.
it has nothing to do with my world. Nothing. If I'm a musician and I can sing, what does your ability to sing or play have to do with mine?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
I just have to polish and get better.
Wow.
Or collaborate.
Or collaborate.
Or collaborate.
Because
We're
it
always
is,
open to
you know,
that.
it is like how she said. It's not a competition. You know, there's enough room for everybody, and that's, you know, it's basically just, it's not really about, you know, who's better than one another or whatever. It never is, and that's what you were saying about Groove Session. Like,
Yeah.
we're all one. You know, we're all one big family.
Yeah, all you guys
So-
grow, and you all
Right.
guys respect each other and support each other. I
Yeah.
think that's a cool thing.
Right.
You know, and everybody's got their own.
And it's
set
But
style
the
of
reality is
music.
they don't. They don't. The reality is they don't support, and they don't support because it's about money. If you become bigger than me, if you're better than me, you're going to have more followers and make more money. And I don't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the
See?
reality.
That is the reality.
That's fascinating, but it makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. What you said about everything coming down to love and money.
Yep.
That's what everything, obviously, when you boil everything down to the essence, that's
Right.
what it is.
That's
You know
what
what I
it
mean? I
is.
mean,
And so that's why, you know, I mean, you can give
Yeah.
me any scenario and I can tell you exactly where people are faltering and what side they're falling on. And typically it's always money. And the reason why they're falling on money is because they're lacking love. So if I can help you stay to the side of love, your whole world will change. Your whole world, including money,
Yeah.
because money will follow. It's inevitable.
Well, I love making money.
Well,
oh,
well, here's okay. So even to that, in your speech, I love making money. You will work the rest of your life.
Yeah.
No, the reason why is because you love making money. I don't like making money. I don't like it at all. I could care less. But I love attracting money. I attract abundance.
Oh, yes, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are learning a lot today, boys.
it is. This question is directed at Fallen Electric's short-haired sellout. No. That's hilarious.
No, that's a good point. Though.
Yeah.
You like to make the money because you like to put the fresh strings on your guitar when you play your other next gig, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Some people on this radio show, not our show, but on other shows, always ask for free tickets, free T-shirts. I always pay. I believe in paying the artist. And
Yes.
I'm adamant about it.
When my friends play, and there's,
a
you know, it's a
support.
$6 charge or something or whatever.
Yeah, I'll pay it.
Support the band and pay. You know,
Yeah.
support your local
Well-
musician.
I'm the press
Okay,
boy,
so
I'm usually-
can I say something to that?
Please, I would like that.
So that's where, again, where love and money comes down. If I want you to give me a free ticket, what am I honoring? I'm honoring money because I hold it more valuable.
Right.
But if I'm willing to pay for your ticket, it's like, I don't care about money. I care about you. I want to support you. I'm loving you.
Exactly.
I'm willing to part with it.
Wow, now you make me feel
Right.
bad.
Patrick?
Leave my press pass.
Okay, now you
I'm
better.
that guy.
So he owes, if he was to pay back all that free entries that he got, you
Well,
you
you're
over
my plus one, you
$100,000
freaking
there,
hypocrites.
pal.
You're my plus one. I never see you stop.
Plus one, yeah. Well, that's at conventions. That's a big whole
Well, I would love
corporation
it.
thing. It's
Oh,
not
Faceless
one-
corporation. He's not
it's not
screwing
one
the man.
band.
Well, when it's Stanley's kamikaze and you don't pay, you're screwing Stanley.
Well, you know what? He's already sold the world. You know.
You know what's funny about that is you're the plus one. Everything goes down a funnel. We all know the funnel, right? And we all know it's bullshit. You sit there and go, well, normally this is $196, but today, just for you, it's $96. We're like, oh, well, just today I feel special. No, it's all bullshit. It's not worth anything. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to put a dollar amount on it so that you feel special, that you're saving money today. It's all a money game. It's a mind money game because I don't have any value unless I charge you $1,000. But for today, it's a special.
Yeah.
When did you have that moment of clarity where you realized that? Because you're blowing my mind over here.
Yeah, I'm just going like,
Every
wow.
war, every conflict comes down
Reality
to love and
wipeout.
money.
I'm just.
Because property and everything else, all the conflict, you're right, can be boiled down to one of those two things.
That's right.
Well, how did you discover this as a kid? Because this
You
is
know,
really
it's
mind-blowing.
funny. You know what? All I did was read a book.
Which one? Freakonomics?
The Bible.
Wow. Oh, that one's good too. Wow, the Bible, very good. Old and new. Wow.
Yeah, you can't honor both. It's love or money. You can't honor both. And people don't understand that simple concept. You cannot honor both. There's no, well, maybe I'm teetering, but you don't understand the situation. That's all bullshit. you're making excuses. It's love or money. Honor one of them. And typically, 98% of the people honor money. We don't know how to honor love.
Money just gets me in
mind
trouble.
blown. That's
And that's why we're broke. We're broke. I mean, financially, we're broke. Spiritually, emotionally, we're just spent because we're always chasing a dollar. Like when you guys are playing, are you thinking, all right, I'm making money right now? No, your heart is pouring out and you love it, and you're just hoping that somebody's receiving what you're giving. You're giving love in that moment, and we're receiving love in that moment. Money has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's all about connecting to the people in the
Right,
room.
exactly. And that's why you're doing it. You're doing it for the love of it, not for the money. So when people follow money in their career, well, I think I'm going to be a doctor or a lawyer or what else makes money? No. And that's why when you go to school and you spend all this money for this certificate on the wall, and then they end up not doing what they went to school for, because you were following the money, you didn't follow your heart.
Exactly.
I should have been a plumber.
You missed your calling, Jeff.
If I was a plumber, I would have.
he still deals in shit.
I would have money in my pocket all the time. You know how many leaky faucets are out there every day putting new wax rings on toilets?
Why are you doing it in a Yiddish voice?
Because I'm from the East Coast and it's just coming out of me, okay? I was born in Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah, a guy I
Yes,
knew in
not
the,
far from the Jerky Boys.
a guy I knew in the supermarket industry when I was doing resets. He always said, "My dad said I should have been a farmer," and here we are at 3 a.m. in Bakersfield at a Food for Less, and he's like, "I should have listened to my dad. I should have been a farmer." And we're sitting there just, taking bottles and moving them around and.
In his defense, if you're moving heavy objects,
I don't see any
3 in the
love
morning
there.
in a Bakersfield Food for Less.
I don't see any love there at all, Dan.
And that's another good point. I mean, I can talk about anything when we're talking about a farmer. Everything is about fast food. We're gonna go out to dinner. We're gonna make it quick, right? That's our way of society taking God out of the family. Love is in the garden. When you go in there and you grow your own food, you're actually putting the energy from the earth to the table. Where does everybody go to when you go to a house? Right to the kitchen. Right. What's in here?
We did. Dan did bring some food from his garden.
That's what I do.
He did bring it. And
That's
I said,
awesome.
I thought, this is organic. This tastes good. Where'd you get it? You go, oh, from my garden. I go, where do you get a garden? Right there in my backyard.
And that's love right there.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Thanks for the love, Dan.
No, Dan, she means every word she said. I watched her pick up one of your fruits. She sniffed it once and dropped it down.
If it's not from my garden, it's from the farmer's market. It's from somebody else's garden. But
She said it
it's
smelled
all
like
local.
it was from a Food for Less at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
in Bakersfield.
No, I don't do that anymore. I can't. I'm too old.
But that's fascinating. I mean, when I love the band and I loved your breaking everything down to its basic core elements. Yeah. And that's just, it's interesting to me. You know what I mean? I mean, that's almost Machiavellian. You know what I mean?
I mean, I could really break down anything you bring up at all. I could just break it down and tell you what the reality is of love and money, where it falls every single time. And, from the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So people think that they have, all this stuff going on about who I am, but you're speaking and it's coming right out of you. I can tell exactly who you are and how you are.
Oh, my God. This is dangerous.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It would be like hanging out with a member of the X-Men. Exactly. You can't have a probing.
Professor X.
Wow. Yeah.
If you really, if you want to know anybody, like if you're looking to court somebody, if you're looking for a business partner, you're looking at your friends, whatever it is, watch how they handle money. It'll tell you everything.
Well, we're here. We started this show just out of love because no one's paying us. We're not. We don't.
Let's hold them secrets back for you. Keep your options open.
I'm gonna shut my mouth and hand
Damn
the
right
mic
you
over to
are.
everybody else.
Here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, where's that? Okay, what about our Jaws guy?
So
Where's
everyone's saying,
Carl?
we're going to have Carl Gottlieb calling in a minute. We have 3 minutes before we bother Carl. He wrote The Jerk. He wrote Jaws 1, 2, and 3.
Wow.
3D when it first came out.
Yeah, I'm going to make the call here in just a few seconds.
Yeah, give him till about 8:01. You know, because Carl usually writes until about 1 a.m. and he's an older cat, so you don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to disturb him. You
Poor
know.
Jeff is sitting.
Well, he's expecting us to disturb him.
Poor
We're going
Jeff-
to get an interview.
Poor
Okay?
Jeff thinks he's coming to the studio. I called to thank him for doing the interview.
I don't
Nobody
make
You
knows
know
it.
what's funny about this? I'm gonna get real with you right now. Is that we're talking about a guest who's not here, and when he shows up, it's gonna be wonderful when we see him and talk to him. But we've got each other right here, right now.
Damn right. That's why.
But you're distracting it, and you're talking about a guest that isn't here right now. You know why? Because it's getting real. Because we're talking about love money.
Yeah.
By the way, again, her mutant ability is terrifying. No, you know what? Honestly, when it becomes the love of money, you know, everything heats up, and you start to think about.
It does.
I mean, once I
What are
start-
you doing to me?
No, her mind powers are mind-boggling. But once you start thinking about love and money, especially money, you start thinking, oh my God, you know what I mean? I gotta pay this, you gotta pay that. And it's like the comedian who said you can't say cancer because nobody will laugh for 10 minutes.
What do I do? I'm stressing out about a parking ticket in Beverly Hills.
Did
and
you
they
bill
won't-
it?
What? I didn't pay it yet. No.
Well,
It's overdue. And because of a front license plate. I've never had a license plate since I bought my car. I've had it for 6 years.
But you know that's part of the system is the control. It's like they're going to give us every barrier to keep us from actually accessing the love, the energy that's in us by keeping us in fear and angry. And it's like money, money, money. You have to pay. Your credit report, your house payment, your tickets, your registration, your driver's license. It just goes on and on and on. So you're thinking, my gosh, I have all these things to pay for. Your money is your mind is so focused on money. There's no room for love.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. No, my big deal now is the IRS because the money I owe them, you know, I had a corrupt accountant and he did my taxes and then I got audited. And so I owe for 3 years a couple $1,000s and every month I pay. But every month the penalties and the interest pile up and I get a bill and I'm like, I haven't made a dent. And I've been paying every month $200, $300, and it's even higher than it was last month. You know, so I got to call them all the time. When you call the IRS, you're on hold for a half hour, and it's a bitch. I just want to pay them off and just go start over again.
And that is part of the illusion. No, it really is. And when the deeper you are into the matrix, you are a victim of all of those.
So do I take the red pill or the blue pill?
That's where you come in. You tell us which one to take more for.
Every time I eat that steak, I'm not eating that steak. The Matrix makes me think I'm eating that steak. Oh, boy. Hey, happy Friday, everybody.
Hey!
You know,
TGIF, baby.
you know, it's funny though. I mean, we could really talk about money for a long time, but just imagine for a moment if we took money out of the equation and we just didn't have money, what would we be left to focus on? Because
I'd be trading spice and salt and
no, I'm not talking about bartering though. I'm talking about
Jeff's
what would we
already
focus.
ready to survive in a post-nuclear society.
But isn't that funny how that was the first thing you went to? You went to how would I survive? I'm going to barter.
yeah.
I didn't ask that.
He would be selling himself to mutants.
You're right.
You know, it's a real heavy weight on your shoulder. Money. How am I going to pay?
But as soon as Dan said the IRS and you mentioned money, it's like...
And I don't think I'm bargaining. I'm like, all this heavy, all this coming down.
And it doesn't need to be. It's an illusion.
It doesn't need to be. Okay.
Yeah, it really doesn't need to be. There's an answer you have to remember for every problem.
Why are you
there's an
smiling
answer.
so much, Josephina?
You just have to disconnect.
Okay, all right.
Disconnect.
Your Zen attitude is infectious.
I'm a grad student. I'm a seminarian. I don't give a shit.
Where's the
Wow.
Matt, where's the stuffed shark at?
On the car.
I'm going to go get him right now. I need something to hug.
He's like, I need a breather, man. It's coming down too hard on me.
Harvey Weinstein will be right back. He's looking for a potted plant.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he for some reason thought the wonderful, amazing Carl Gottlieb, the writer, director, actor who's going to be on, would drive. He's in West LA. There's no way we can make him drive in LA traffic all the way here.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. He's a great writer. But he's a really intelligent guy. He was Jaws. This is something we were talking about last night. Jaws is modern movie looping. Looping when you do the voices in the background. He had a bunch of actor and comedian friends come in. He had a bunch of actor and comedian
Will
friends
you please call Carl right now, please?
Yeah, okay. But what happened is Harry Shearer, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, is one of the voices you hear throughout the movie Jaws. He's one of the background voices. And there's an opening, there's a beach, there's a party on the beach, before the girl gets eaten. And you hear somebody in the background say he's an amputee, which is kind of interesting, foreshadowing. You know what I mean? But you have these amazing voiceover guys all through the movie, and it was the first modern. They didn't have loop groups like they do now, where they would have you, and you come in and do crowd scenes and everything else in a movie. You'd be discussing. I just did an article on a Star Wars cosplayer turned movie looper, and she was telling me all about doing the looping. She was so excited because she got the voice of female stormtrooper in the last Star Wars movie. She did Rogue One and she did Force Awakens. And there's a part where a female stormtrooper says, "Fall back to the tree line." And that was her line. And so she has such pride over that line being in the movie. That was the gist of the this is the article I finished last night at 3 in the morning when the rest of you were asleep. But the great thing is you could see that her excitement, it's her thing. That makes sense?
Yeah.
She will listen to that line forever, and it will be her favorite movie line forever, because she used to dress as a kid like these characters, and now she's suddenly one of them. That's the gist of the article.
I hear something ringing.
By the way, that's a brilliant article. I might even call the article. I might even call it that. Fall back to the tree line. Okay, he's calling Carl now. It's 323 as well. But it's you guys will like him because he's written a lot and he's in the original MASH. He's in the Robert Altman MASH. This guy has done so many movies. And it's just amazing career, but a really great guy. His house, he has the coolest cats you've ever seen in West LA. He lives in like this castle down in that area. It looks like a turret for a castle.
It's an international call, or
Dan can't hear us or see us. He doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, here it goes.
Oh man. Here it goes. I hear ringing.
I hear ringing. Cross your fingers.
Boom, boom.
Make sure it's all turned on.
Okay. What do we got, Dan?
Line 1.
Line 1.
Okay, it's already counting. It's 5 seconds going in.
We're 7 seconds now.
Now 9.
Carl, you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah!
Right.
Hey, Carl, it's Pat. Thank you again for doing the show, sir.
My pleasure.
Wow. So, Carl, how you been? What are you working on?
I'm working on a movie musical, actually, called The Stowaways. It's a musical vaudeville love story. Takes place back in 1916 during the old vaudeville era.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting, and it's coming along well?
Yes, it's based on a true story. It's quite a fascinating tale.
Now, would you direct this as well, or are you only going to write it?
I'll probably just write it and get director who's comfortable with musicals, who the studios will appreciate.
Wow, well, awesome, Carl. Congratulations.
Yeah, musicals are kind of rare right now.
I know. But the success of La La Land kind of inspired us to go ahead with this one.
And Hamilton too, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Now, you also have that serial killer thing over at Sony.
Yes, there's a horror film, Wolf and Blood, is one, and then of course a movie I just finished for a producer named Elliot Abbott. Elliot did A League of Their Own and Awakenings, and he used to be in the music business as a successful manager. And we're doing a romantic comedy together, modern romantic comedy.
Wow, interesting. Now, my other question is, one of the big fears is remakes. Are you worried of any of your films? Sorry. Are you worried of any of your films being remade?
Not really. I think they were, but of course, I mean, they do the oddest remakes, and sometimes a relatively short time after they were made the first time. So it's it's like capitalizing on fear. It's like, well, we don't know what works anymore, so we'll take something that worked once upon a time and we'll do it again and hope it works again. That's it's kind of a depressing studio kind of thinking.
No, are you, every couple of years, somebody floats the terrible idea of a Jaws remake. Does that fill you with dread, or do you think it won't happen?
I don't think it'll ever happen.
Thank God. I mean that sincerely. Wow. No, I wanted to ask you about Caveman. You know, our guest this morning, I was telling them some of the stories about making Caveman. Were you intimidated directing a movie starring a Beatle? You know, Ringo Starr starred in this?
No, it was Ringo, like apparently like all the Beatles. Ringo is an unassuming guy. He knew that it was movies and not rock and roll. It was a different arena for him, and Ringo was just interested in doing a good job as an actor.
Wow.
And he had a good co-star. He had a great co-star, Dennis Quaid.
Isn't that amazing? You had Dennis Quaid in one of his first big roles. Was he cool?
Dennis is great. I worked with him in Jaws 3D, and then and Caveman. Well, I guess I worked with him in Caveman first, and then Jaws 3D was the union for us.
You know what? One of the best stories on Jaws 3D is when Dennis Quaid was seeing Alea Thompson. You were kind of acting as the beard, right?
Well, yeah, I guess so. And I guess we can tell those stories now, 30 years later.
It's a great story.
At the time, it was a secret. I mean, you know, Dennis was in a relationship.
With PJ Souls from Stripes and Halloween, yeah.
Yeah.
But Leah Thompson ran after her Burger King commercials before Back to the Future. Holy cow. I mean, the best thing about Jaws 3D is you have her running around in the bikini for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's not to like?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, now by the time you did Jaws 3D, what was your feeling? Did you do much of the shark stuff, or were you doing the character stuff?
I was doing the character stuff. The shark stuff was pretty well set in stone because that's the 3D part, and those scenes had to be very meticulously planned and storyboarded. There wasn't much room for adjustment. So we knew what the shark stunts would be. We knew what the shark would do. So we had to figure out how to get there and how to care about the people, because in all the Jaws films, if you don't care about the people, you don't care about the movie.
Wow. And that's true. And with the first 3 movies, you spent all these hours on 3 different movies waiting for the shark to work. Does it sort of make you grind your teeth to see how easy it's become in the CG computerized era?
Yeah, it is kind of a kick in the ass to wonder to know that everything we struggled to do a computer and a graphic artist and a green screen can throw together now.
Now, you mentioned to me that the Jaws is one of the first modern looped movies, right?
Yeah, it's probably the first modern film use a group of improvisational actors to do the ADR and crowd voices and revoicing that's sometimes necessary in post-production.
And in your amazing book, The Jaws Log, you said one of the voices is Harry Shearer, Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
That's right.
Wow. Any other famous people? Did you do some of the voices?
Not on Jaws. I did some of the voices in Star is Born, because that was the third film that we did as a looping group.
Wow. The Barbra Streisand version.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. What other movies? Well, I wanted to ask you, you were in the original MASH by Altman.
Yes.
Wow. And besides MASH, you also wound up in, I think, his best film, and I think it's the most unappreciated. You're in The Long Goodbye, and there's a big beach scene where you're in The Long Goodbye with Sterling Hayden and Elliot Gould.
Yes, I played Sterling Hayden's agent. I didn't have that much to say in the final cut, but I was there, and I got to hang out with Sterling for an afternoon or two, and he was terrific. I liked him.
He's the for the guys in the studio. He's the police chief who breaks Michael Corleone's cheek in The Godfather. Breaks his jaw in The Godfather.
Yeah, he's the wicked police chief.
An evil Irish police chief. Now, was he not your original choice for Quint in Jaws? That's what I've heard.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, when I came on the movie, which was about 3 weeks before we started shooting, we didn't have Quint. We didn't have Hooper either. All we had was Roy Scheider and Lorraine Gary.
Wow.
And there was a scramble to get an actor to fill out the cast. Richard was a friend of mine from improvisational days in the late 60s, early 70s. So I prevailed on him to take a second look at the script. He had passed on it, of course. And then he said, famously, he said, "This is a movie I'd rather see than be in." And then we talked him into doing it. We said, "Look, it's going to be rewritten. It's not the script that was submitted to you. It's a different script." So he decided to go along with it.
Wow.
And in the case of Sterling Hayden, I knew, again, Sterling Hayden was somebody I had met personally, and I knew him, and I liked him a lot. And of course, he was an incredible actor. If you remember, both Godfather and Dr. Strangelove.
That's right.
Okay, I got a question. This comes from across the pond in jolly old England.
Jolly old England, which Dan is mangling his accent for.
How was it working with Roy Schneider?
Snyder.
Snyder.
Whose birthday was yesterday?
It was. Well, you're a man of facts.
Roy Schneider was great. He was a committed, conscientious actor. Working very hard to make the part different. He had done New York Cop twice. He had done it in The French Connection, and then he did it again in a picture called The Seven Ups. So in terms of gritty urban New York police drama, he was fine. But this was a kind of a step away from his comfort zone, playing the bucolic chief of police on the island of Amity. So he had to work hard. On Jaws 2, he was a little less happy because he was contractually obligated to do a sequel, and he would rather have done some of the other big parts that were being offered to him at the time, but he had to do Jaws 2.
And he'd walked off The Deer Hunter. When he did Jaws 2. And, of course, he saw the guy who took over his role get an Oscar, so that couldn't have been easy for him.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Wow. Now, Carl, are you still doing a lot of stuff with the Writers Guild?
Not as much as before. I was eventually term limited out, and I ran for vice president, and David Goodman won the office, and he's a terrific vice president, and he was good for the guild. So after about 30 years of guild involvement, I was a member of the board of directors. I was vice president twice. I was secretary treasurer twice. I figured, enough is enough.
And you did a movie with John Landis, kind of obscure, but it's got a huge cult following, called Amazon Women of the Moon.
Oh yeah, that was.
I love that one.
And you directed Son of the Invisible Man, where you recreated the whole '30s Universal look. How hard was that? You even shot it on the same back lot as the original Invisible Man.
Oh, that was a great shoot. I had a wonderful actor, Ed Begley Jr. played the Invisible Man, and we did. The camera did a great, recreation of that style. It was shot in black and white, and it was composed. The music fit. It was a great pastiche. It was a great, homage.
And I mean, it was funny. You actually caught the look. You got the old Carl Freund type of cinematography and everything else. Anybody have any questions for Carl? I'm opening up to the studio audience. And you've got a new site you're promoting as well. You want to tell us about the quintessential Carl Gottlieb?
Yeah, on Facebook, after you reach a certain number of friends, they stop anybody new from joining it. And considering that Facebook reaches,
they have their limit.
Billions of viewers.
Yeah.
I figured, okay, I'm probably going to run out of space for Facebook friends. But if you take a public figure page, there's no limit to how many friends you can have. So I started the quintessential Carl Gottlieb, and I'm trying to direct all the people from the original Carl Gottlieb, all my Facebook friends from Carl Gottlieb, to go over to quintessential Carl Gottlieb, which is essentially the same kind of page. A few more stories, a few more anecdotes, links to podcasts done. Like this will probably wind up being promoted there and linked there.
We're honored.
I posted that picture on Facebook with my two friends, Chloe Face Paint Karina and Teresa Ireland.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. Yes, I've worked with those two girls.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, Steve Joyner's watching.
Wow, hey, Steve.
Our buddy Steve.
Hey, Steve.
And now, Carl, one of my favorite stories of yours, I was hoping you'd tell, since we have musicians here today, too. Could you tell us when you realized that your leading lady and your leading man were about to enter a relationship when you were directing Caveman?
Oh, yeah. When we started the movie, just before we started shooting, before we left for location, because we shot a lot of that picture was shot in Durango, Mexico, and then finished in Mexico City. It was essentially a Mexican co-production.
Wow. Did you do it at Churubusco, Carl? Were they part of there?
Shot at we shot in Durango, the exteriors, and then we shot the cave interiors and some of the jungle stuff in Churubusco Studios.
Where they shot Predator. Yeah.
Yeah, well, also they shot Tarzan on the same jungle that we shot on.
Really? The original Tarzan?
Ron
Ely.
The Ron Ely Tarzan was shot down there. And in Durango, of course, that's where John Wayne made like 10 different Westerns, Sons of Katie Elder and pictures like that. Wow. And kind of an oddball movie with Rod Steiger and James Coburn called Duck You Sucker.
One of those Italian type revenge movies.
Yeah, exactly. During the Mexican Revolution, with motor cars and dynamite.
Kind of a whole period. You could do a whole weekend at TCM with just that genre.
So anyway, we were having this party at my house before we left for shooting, and Ringo and Barbara Bach came, each with a respective girlfriend. Ringo was dating a photographer named Nancy Anderson, and Barbara was with an Italian. I think he was the father of her children. Actually, I think
no.
she married after one of the Bond films. But and their eyes met, and there was some chemistry between them, which was good because they were going to be co-stars. I wanted them to meet and have an off-camera relationship that was at least cordial, because I had been through the Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw
Jaws
rivalry on Jaws, and I knew that as well as it worked on screen, it's kind of painful off camera if your stars are sniping at each other. So I wanted everybody to get along, and it was a great cast in terms of being friendly. John Matuszak was a really outgoing guy, and Dennis Quaid, of course, and Jack Gilford, Avery Schreiber, and Shelley Long, who was
that's right, Shelley Long's first big movie.
A very funny comedian. She could do physical comedy. She was pretty and vivacious. So she played the other girl in Love Triangle. And then we got on location, and we went to after 6 weeks in Durango, everybody was pretty well burnt out, because the physical location was 90 kilometers from the hotel, and we'd drive into the sun in the morning and then drive back into the sun and in the evening, because it was east. We had to drive east to get to the location in the morning and drive west to get back to the studio. So all the time in the car was spent with low sun in the sky shining in your eyes, which is a hell of a way to wake up in the morning, and then a hell of a way to end the day when all you want to do is get back to a warm shower and a cold beer. So we were, but then we got to the week. We had a week off in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, where we shot the waterfall sequence, and then we went to Churubusco for 3 or 4 weeks to finish it up. And since we were doing the cave interiors, we were going to shoot the big seduction scene where Ringo tries to seduce a comatose Rabach while John Matuszak, her huge possessive husband or mate, is sleeping next to her. And the way that set was built, the platform on which the seduction took place, the sleeping place of the chief of the tribe, was about the size of a king-size bed.
Oh, no.
On top. So we decided to rehearse the physical comedy and plan the jokes out. I think it was in Barbara's hotel room. So we were rehearsing all the flopping around and pantomime bodies. And then the next day, and then we rehearsed, and then I left to go to go to bed because we were shooting early the next morning, and Matuszak left, and Ringo stayed. And in the morning, they came to the set together, holding hands and grinning, and they were together ever since.
Wow. Hey, great story. And anything on The Jerk? When did you guys come up with the opening line of The Jerk? Did that start when you and Steve Martin first wrote the script, or was that one of the last-minute things?
That was a line. We were kind of stuck in the writer's room trying to think of an idea for the movie. We didn't have one. We had the tyranny of the tyranny of no controls.
Wow.
The movie could be about anything. All we knew it was going to have to be a comedy, and it would have to star Steve Martin.
Yeah. The Jerk for me is right up there with Blazing Saddles.
Yeah,
you can't make movies like that anymore.
No, not at all.
It's not PC.
No.
And we were trying to just racking our brains, and then Steve said, "Well, a line that always works in my act is I was born a poor black child." And we looked at each other and said, "Well, what if you were?" film, what if your character was born a poor black child? Where would you be 20 years later? You'd be the adopted white son of a black family. So we got a very black family. Mabel King.
Mabel King was amazing in that. Mabel King was also the queen in With the Wiz.
Yeah,
and the mother on What's Happening.
Yeah.
I was going to say What's Happening is what I know her
from. But Carl, the other, I mean, but they played, the black family plays it so straight. It's so charming, you know?
Well, the guys playing the music are Sonny Terry and Bryony McGee, who are famous folk singers, 40s and 50s.
Yeah, and the way Steve Martin made those little glasses that held his thing, but then it caused people to go cross-eyed. It was just like perfectly written. It was just a great movie.
Thank you.
And can I get the story about my other favorite laugh? And that is that he's going to name the dog Hero because the dog is barking at the hotel and there must be a fire. And when did you guys come up with that dog ain't no hero, that dog is a shithead, and they call him shithead for the rest of the movie?
Yeah, and he covers himself with it. He walks out naked with a dog covering his private parts.
Yeah, 2 dogs, one fore and aft.
Yeah, exactly. There's one dog in front, one dog behind. But that was it was such a funny joke with the dog. Was that something that you had in the script, or was that something you did in your nightly?
That was something that was, they. You got to remember the director of that film was, quite a poet of visual comedy. Carl Reiner came up through your show of shows, and he was and he really understood physical comedy. So he came up with a lot of gags. As the director, he invented a lot of business.
And did you approve? Because of course it's Carl Reiner, you know.
Oh, it was not my place to.
But I meant as somebody, you grew up watching Carl Reiner before you did your own writing and I was just wondering if you were just knocked out by his choices.
Well, I knew Carl because I had worked with his son Rob on the Smothers Brothers show and on improvisational comedy together.
Oh, that's right. You were in the committee together, weren't you?
Yeah, Rob was in the committee for a while, and so I knew him since he was like 21 years old, doing improvisational theater in Los Angeles. A little group called The Session, which was Rob, David Arkin, who was in MASH, Sergeant Bulmer in MASH, and Richard Dreyfuss was in that company, and I forget who else. Richard. David. Joey Bishop's son, Larry Bishop, who made some biker movies later. So there's Larry Bishop and Richard Dreyfuss and Rob Reiner and the other guy I mentioned.
That's right.
And David Arkin, and the women in that company were. Little starlet named Bobby Shaw, who was in Beach Bank of Bingo. And
that's right. She was the robust blonde, yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Shaw and Marge Doucet, who had a very distinguished career in soap operas and daytime drama later on.
I interviewed Marge Doucet. More importantly, Marge Doucet, nobody knows who she is because, like you said, she did soap operas. She stole Mr. Spock's brain in the 3rd season Star Trek episode Spock's Brain. She was very proud of this, Marge Doucet was. And then she went to some Star Trek event, and she said Roddenberry's widow, Majel Barrett, goes, "You were in the very worst episode of our series." And until then, she thought she started one of the best episodes. And all people did was come up to her all weekend to tell her how crappy Spock's Brain was. Wow. So, Carl, we can all find you with the quintessential Carl Gottlieb, right?
That's the page.
Awesome.
Carl Gottlieb on Facebook and scattered around social media and Instagram, mostly in other people's comments and
Yeah. Any other plugs?
Yeah, plug anything you want, Carl.
Well, there's the 2 books, actually 4 books, but right now there's always the Jaws log that's been most popular book about the making of a movie ever.
Any movie ever. It's the Bible of, because you told the truth, which is kind of amazing, because nowadays it's everyone had a great time, everyone worked with everybody. There's no ugliness whatsoever.
Yeah, everything was smooth until somebody sexually assaulted somebody else.
Exactly. But it was all smiles all the way to the rap party. But with the Jaws log, you told the truth. And I mean, a lot of film books would not do that. It was after that, it all became, we all had a great time making Star Wars and we vowed to be friends forever.
Yeah.
And that's never how it works. Anybody who's been on a set knows,
Yeah, and then so I tried to make the Jaws log as good as possible, and it's still in print, and it's a worthwhile read. Then I wrote a book called The Little Blue Book for Filmmakers. I collaborated with an actor named Tony Attell on that one, and that's like a little primer, little handbook for just movie making in general. It covers writing, acting, producing, directing, digital platforms. It was written fairly recently.
All jobs you've done, by the way. That's the amazing thing about you, is you've worked every top above the line credit in a movie you have.
Yeah, I've been lucky that way.
You're humble. You're too humble, sir.
So there's the Little Blue Book of Filmmaking, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and elsewhere. And then finally, the ever-popular Long Time Gone, which was David Crosby's autobiography.
Well, that's right. You wrote the autobiography with David Crosby. I forgot that.
And Crosby's life basically covers the pop music. When he did, he went from folk to electric folk to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, which is one of the first super after the Beatles.
Yeah, one of my favorite bands, by the way.
Yeah, they were wonderful. And I hope we'll get together again, but we'll never know.
So after writing the book with Crosby, you could still listen to the music?
Yeah, no.
It was a good experience.
He was a good guy.
He's close to my age. We're almost contemporaries. And he's touring right now with a new music, done 2 albums in the last three albums in the last 2 years. He's very, very effective.
Well, hey, Carl, I love you. Thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Carl, for those stories.
You're welcome.
Wow, Carl. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
The quintessential Carl Gottlieb, ladies and gentlemen.
Producer Dan, and I want to thank you for coming on to chaoticradio.com and sharing your stories with us. It's a great time when we get a big, not a celebrity, but a filmmaker. And is even
an honest-to-God
better.
celebrity and filmmaker.
Yeah, it's even better.
He's
than
in Jaws. He didn't
yeah.
just write Jaws. He's in Jaws as well. He's Meadows the reporter.
But,
he's got the signature line in the film. We've never had that kind of trouble in these waters.
So, Patrick, I want to thank you for getting him on.
No, I'm honored that he came on. Thank you, because Carl doesn't get up early, and I'm so honored you did, Carl. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. And a shout out to Steve
Joyner.
Steve Joyner. He's our fifth Beatle
We
here.
love you, Steve Joyner.
Yeah.
Steve's our
We love
fifth
you,
Beatle
Carl.
to the show.
Yeah, he is. Or the
All right,
fourth
guys, I'll see you
Beatle.
later.
All right, take care.
All right.
Have a
All
good
right,
day.
Carl. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we're back in studio with the lovely, charming Mary Lee, who Jeff tried to rename earlier, and the incredibly cool Fallen Electric. All right, so money and love, what everything boils down to. Wow.
Do you guys have another love song you can play for us?
Do we have love songs?
I want you to play a love song for Mary Lee.
I'll throw Josephine in there
Do
too.
it. Can I play another song? I don't care. You guys
They
choose
looked
the
like,
song.
when you guys were playing, these two looked like Betty and Veronica. And the Riverdale soccer.
Okay, a little hint from
Drunk Love's probably the
a little
Drunk Love? I want to hear a song called Drunk Love.
a little hint from
Josephine is once I hear a love song called Drunk Love.
a little hint from Dutchie. If you guys could play closer to the mics, it'll come in better.
Sure.
There
Play
won't
the
be
mic.
any echo.
Can I hand
So
you a
if you
guitar
guys
so you don't have an
could-
echo? Oh, here, hold on.
Could what
Stay
Dan?
put, stay put.
Play close right where you're at. Play close right where you're at.
Okay. You want to play right here, right here.
Yeah. Not on the couch. There's a little bit of echo that goes on.
Sit down, boy.
Okay.
Make yourself comfortable. Mr. McCartney?
Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on.
Josephina, what's is people? I don't know if it's my phone, but it says bring him on camera, but nobody's typing that. It's something that's automatically done on my.
You keep getting that, Jeff. I don't know why. I see it just fine on my phone.
But it says it's not the people saying that. Nobody's saying it. It just goes on automatically with people's comments, or even if they're just watching.
Are you supposed to add them?
Are we getting lots of hearts?
Josephina,
We
that's
did
for you.
get lots of hearts. We did get hearts and likes. What more could you ask for on a Friday morning?
I don't know what's
Love
wrong
Fest
with
Friday.
this mic. It's not really not working. It's kind of bleeding. You're just gonna have to
kinda-
sing
yeah.
into this one. This one's not.
We'll put this in between us here.
Yeah, let's do that.
There we are.
There we are.
I had a trouble with this button before.
Yeah.
Dan, mic number 2, mute button. I'm bringing that to your attention. It's doing it again.
It's not muting, or it is muting.
No, it's stuck on mute. It won't go off.
Which mic?
Jimmy's mic.
Keep
My mic.
Can you share a mic? Can you guys share a mic? Or
Yeah,
that's
I
just
can
okay?
hear him fine in there. Yeah.
I can hear
Okay,
it.
so we got Fallen Electric doing their amazing, touching, warm love song, "Drunk Love."
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna change it to Empty Room.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, Empty Room
Yeah,
works. Although I want to hear "Drunk Love." Oh, Josephine,
I
sorry.
remember
No,
that
Josephine,
song. I
hold
remember
on.
that song.
Josephine, our camera woman, wants to hear "Drunk Love."
Okay.
Ah.
Oh, everything changes.
Yeah.
New key.
New
You
key.
guys sound drunker now.
Yeah.
I think I heard that one at the Continental. I might have. I go there for karaoke too.
Right.
On Tuesdays.
You go everywhere for karaoke.
I love karaoke. It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
In my heart. See, we got a live band, and you're trying to tell them your boring stories.
This is one that doesn't really. It seems like it's gonna be a little interesting on the acoustic, but this is like our.
I don't think we've ever played an acoustic.
I don't think
It's
we
gonna
have.
be interesting.
Yeah.
I wish we had Travis here for it. He's our drummer. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Travis, get your ass in here.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, shout out to Travis and Drew Barber.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those guys really make it happen live.
Right.
Oh, I can tell the way they're not here, and you're still rocking the room.
Well,
Yeah.
Listen,
when the album's out, we'll all be on. Hopefully, we'll be on. In here and doing our thing. So.
So you don't make too many drummer jokes in front of Travis?
Wait.
I think it's more drummer jokes for the track.
Yeah.
You asked him the difference between a drummer and a pizza?
Yeah.
A pizza can feed a family of 4.
Cool.
Sorry.
All right.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Push me around, spit in my face. Go ahead, show me my place. I'll be anything you want me to be. Sing it to you, much pleasure to me. Hit me, I love it when you hit me, honey. Kiss me, my lips are just a little bloody. Hit me, kiss me, hit me, kiss me, hit me. Kiss me, hit me, kiss me. Blaming on me, whatever it is, you never can see what I held within. I can't live without what others hate, but living without you would drive me insane. Hit me, I love it when you hit me, honey. Kiss me, my lips are just a little bloody. Hit me, kiss me, hit me, kiss me, hit me, kiss me, hit me, kiss me. Hit me, I love it when you hit me, honey. Kiss me, my lips are just a little bloody. Hit me, kiss me, hit me, kiss me,
So you were missing a Woody Woodpecker slide whistle.
Yeah.
I don't think Mary Lee was as entertained by the non-love song as she was by the earlier tune.
That was me on lead slide whistle.
Yes.
Jeff would like
I'm
to
like,
do
yeah, it's just a little dysfunctional.
Let me kiss me.
It's a dysfunctional world.
They called the
Right.
I love you, honey. Isn't that what you said?
Huh?
I love it when
No, when you hit me. Yeah.
Let me kiss
It's
me.
a little, yeah, it's a...
Trying to make it sound normal.
When when you said sung, it's gonna get a little bloody. She was full on out. Was that love or money we're looking at? Here?
I think it's called fun.
Yeah.
Metaphor.
Yeah.
That one's, yeah, it's a little on the other love side that we were probably hoping for.
You're Rihanna.
There's no love there.
It's from the Rihanna tribute album. Wow.
But I see a capital F-U-N on Jeffrey Fun Sargent.
Yes.
Like
Fun Friday, gang. Fun Friday. It's Friday, man. What are your plans this Veterans Day weekend? Oh, yeah.
Is
I
it?
don't know.
I think is he up? Is he?
Can you hear me? Can you not hear me?
No. I don't think. I think you got the date wrong. Is it?
Tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, no mail delivery.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that check. The check's not in the mail, Marilee.
Nope.
She was in the military.
What do I do?
Enjoy yourself.
Okay.
Stop worrying about it.
I'll stop worrying about it. I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Like the song goes, it's later than you think.
Yes.
But-
I just filled my last $10 out of my account in my motorcycle. We could go for a ride.
He can get you here from here to the stop sign. Wow. So, what are your weekend plans, little lady?
Honestly, I have no weekend plans. Every single day is I just fly by the seat of my pants. I really don't know.
That's kind of exciting. Now, how long have you been doing that? I respect
Flying
that.
by the seat of my pants for a very long time. Seriously.
But the no direction idea that you wake up and you have no set plans, which is kind of exciting. Phone call. Lay it on us, Dan the man.
Oh boy. 7, 6. Okay, wait.
Mysterious caller, speak to us. Come into the light, Caroline. That's for you 80s guys.
What's going on? What do I do, Dan?
Speak to us.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, am I the ninth caller?
You are. You won the free tickets to 1985.
All right. Happy Friday, Jeff and Pat. How you guys doing?
Not bad.
All right.
Oh, this is the great Steve Joyner.
Is that Steve?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's me.
I recognize your dulcet tones.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Steve, say hi to the lovely Marilee, Josephina.
I was
and-
watching her. Hello, Marlene. Yeah, I was just blown away at the talent you guys got in there this morning, and that's the only reason why I'm calling you. That's it.
I know he's not talking about us, so it must be you three.
He's our fifth Beatle. He's our fourth Caballero.
Yeah.
He's the fourth cab. He's the man behind the scenes. He throws talent our
He
way,
finds us
man.
great guests. Yeah.
He's a great guy, and that's what he's part of our trio here.
No, I got you. You guys do all the work. I got a long text message from Carl Gottlieb. He said he had a blast on the program,
Well, thank
and
God.
he said that he'll never wake up this early again, though.
He's a writer. He's not supposed to wake up early.
We
I
got
thought-
all these people that
I
do their
felt
thing
horrible.
at 3 in the morning.
That's right.
And Carl's up late too. Carl writes them from like 1 to 3 in the morning as well, even now, and I hate waking a writer up before noon. It just my big brother, literally, my big brother was a screenwriter. He wrote Grosse Pointe Blank and some other stuff. He would crawl down about noon. My brother Donald, it'd be like Batman and his British butler. My brother Donald would have his coffee already, and it's just he would just slither back upstairs, and then he'd be in like a semi-haze till about 2 when he'd start writing again.
No, I used to do the burn the midnight oil as well, but then I got married 3 years ago. My wife wakes up at 5 every morning, so my vampire days were long gone. After that. Now, whether I want to wake up early, whether I want to sleep in or not, I mean, I honestly, guys, for the last 3 years, I love her and all that, but geez, I haven't. I think like 8:30. It's like, oh my God, I slept till 8:30. What do I do?
That's horrible. If I ever
well,
see
no,
that,
it's-
shoot me in the head.
Yeah, it's just a testament of what a good woman could do for your life. But I don't know. But speaking of amazing women, I was really interested in the guests you have in there. I mean, you guys got a great group in there, man.
Thank you.
The lovely Marilee, and interesting Marilee. We broke everything.
Yeah, I got 2 texts. Who is a girl in the white sweater? I mean, I got two in a row.
Just two.
No, but it was good. No, it's just
Don't worry.
Two very special.
It's from the
Nobody
same-
asked about me, the guy in the black jacket in the booth.
Nobody asked questions.
On the bright side, it's from the same stalker. He's
No,
telling
but
us
I
happy
was
you're here on
just-
Friday so we can steal your garbage.
No, I was listening to her and all that, and I was thinking, God, this is like, I'm a huge John Lennon fan, and I like the whole idealisms, and this is really what I love about your guys' program is that there's so much garbage out there, and a couple times I've been affiliated with promoting crappy shows, but this is a really good, positive, upbeat show for a Friday, So I mean, this is what the world needs more,
That's right. Absolutely.
Well, Marilee's quietly blown
Thank
my
you,
mind.
Marilee.
Yeah, thank you. But
She kind of made me nervous because she's like Professor X of the X-Men.
yeah, she reads your mind.
And
She
she's
anticipates
putting
everything.
me in my
She's
place.
incredibly dangerous. She's like the Jean Grey.
I mean,
of
when
a-
someone comes up to me for the first time and telling you what and call you out on your bullshit and just put you in your place,
Yeah.
it's like,
When she broke everything down to money and love, it reminded me when I started college and I read, not even, I'm blanking on his name. Not Howard Zinn. I don't like Howard Zinn, but the Howard Zinn ripoff. What's the other guy? The Secret History of the United States. You made me look at things differently, like the book Freakonomics and stuff. It'll take a controversial point of view, but it'll defend it in a really interesting manner. And literally, in the 90 minutes we've had her, I've been breaking down every conflict in my brain to money or love, and how screwed it was either way.
That's a sign of a good guest, fellows. If they challenge you and it's just not idle conversation.
She
So, I
changed
mean,
her
it's-
CD. She changed my internal CD. Actually, is what she did.
I'm just going like, okay,
easy
what
on
is she
the
going to know
eyes.
about music? And then she's just telling these guys about themselves, the music. I'm just like everything. Wow.
Yeah, awesome, man. And Jeff,
We
I'm
need
sorry to
more
hear
of that.
about. Dude, I'm sorry to hear about the misfortune of your front license plate. I had something similar like that happen to me
Yeah.
a long time ago, and this was back in my juvenile delinquency days. I've never really told this story before, so
We need to hear it now, man.
oh yeah, totally. So I had a California, I had an '86 Camaro. It was like a 305, and and it was a beautiful car. And I had lost my front license plate, and I just didn't really feel like getting another one. So I was at my friend's house, and his dad had one, an old California plate. So I said, I'll just throw that on there. Cops don't know any better. Well, little did I know that the license plate that my friend's father had was from a 1968 Nova, and it was back when they changed the color scheme of the California plates.
Yeah.
So the old black and yellow ones. It was one of those. And this cop pulled me over. He's like, "What's up with your license plate?" I'm like, "Well, it's there." He's like, "Yeah, well, it's not yours." So I actually had to go to court. They thought I stole a plate, man. It was insane. But
Technically, you did.
No, well, I mean, it's borrowed, But I told the cop I was a wise ass. I'm like, "Well, you guys don't look at the front of the car, anyways,
Wow. Yeah, see, that's how you get a CHP officer's knee caressing the back of your neck.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just, but hey, I just wanted to call in to say, hey, you guys are doing amazing. Proud of you guys. Love the guests you have in today. Loved hearing Carl, and have a great weekend. Keep up the good work, and
who do we got for
happy-
Monday, Steve?
You got Kellyanne Chippendale's coming into
Kellyanne
the
Chippendale.
studio.
Yeah, that's right.
Kellyanne Chippendale, she's a actress and a talk show host, not a dancer.
Yeah,
I thought we were having the
promotion.
Chippendales in the dancers.
No. We have enough men in the studio as it is.
Writer, director, producer.
I would have these two all the time. I'm ready for this to be the Marilee show.
That's not a bad idea. Have a recurring guest that comes on. That's always good to have someone on. So, she could come in and take inventory once a month.
That's right.
Yeah,
Follow
she got
Electric.
inventory today. I'll tell you that right.
Fall and Electric can be the house band.
Oh, Jeff, real
Yeah.
quick, I wanted to tell you. I'm sure you guys have heard about the death of John Harrelman. and the guy who played Higgins.
Oh, yeah. I heard this this morning.
Higgins on Magnum PI died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, John and I don't know. Pat,
John
I know you know this.
John Hillerman, amazing actor.
I talked to Eddie Deason yesterday, and Eddie did an episode of Magnum in 1983 called Squeeze Play. I'll send you guys. It's on the YouTube. It's on Daily Motion.
Oh, I gotta see that. I had no idea.
And Eddie plays the nephew of a gangster gambler, and it's anyway. But I'll send it to you guys.
I gotta see this. This will be interesting. But Eddie is Mandark on Dexter's Lab.
Eddie was the nerd in Grease. And if you look at him in Grease,
and
Pee Wee Herman stole his whole look from him.
1941,
The Polar Express. He played the kid. I can't wait to see Santa.
He's from. He was a discovery of Bob Zemeckis, who put him in every movie. He said, "I want to hold your hand." He's in everything but like Back to the Future, which would have been perfect for him.
But anyway, Eddie told me something very interesting. He said, when they were there for like 2 weeks filming that episode. And he said, John tripped him out because, John was a Southern dude.
Yeah,
and he had a little bit of
Southern. Whoa, he was a Southern dude. Who'd ever think?
He's John Johnson in Blazing Saddles.
Higgins was all British, and he said that he remembered him from Paper Moon and, Last Picture Show and of course, Blazing Saddles. And he said, so when they would stop filming, he'd be like, "So, Eddie, where you'd like to go to eat?" So he said it was just total like night and day, but he really, really liked working with them. So
I think British accent for 10 years, and he never had to work again. That was amazing. I would see him at the Screen Actors Guild meetings, and you would just see him climbing into a Bentley, and just thinking, "Wow, there's money and there's money." Which brings us back to Mary Lee's statements.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, I could never picture that show Magnum without him. He was so good. And I always loved how he always had the lads, the two Dobermans and stuff. That he could just snap his fingers. But I really, really enjoyed it. But hey, you guys, thanks so much for everything. Have a great weekend. Happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there in the world.
Including Josephina here. Wow.
Oh, right on, man. You guys. Oh, she's too cool for school.
Yeah, she's a biker. That's kind of cool.
She's a biker too?
Yeah, she's a biker.
She's a Harley mama. She's been riding Harleys for years.
It's a Ducati, but we'll pretend she's a real biker.
She rides motorcycles no matter what brand they are. It's usually a.
Okay, before I get in trouble, we got about 5 minutes left on the
5 minutes
clock.
All right, I'm taking off. Dan,
All
Pat,
right, let's
Jeff,
end it right now.
All right,
so
thank you
much.
for all your help. Thank you for being the fifth Beatle.
And like I said, when you come on the show, you're invited right to Dan's house, and you don't have to. That's your hotel right there. You don't have to drive all those hours.
Yeah, you
Hopefully you'll be there on Wife Swapping Wednesday.
Yeah. You know what? Take my wife. So, all right.
No, we
all
do
right,
have
guys,
a spare room, so
all right.
you're more than welcome.
Awesome. Have a great weekend, fellas.
All right.
Dude, take care.
Take care.
Wow, now it's promotion in the last 5 minutes. We'll start with you, and then we'll move on to our friends in Fallen Electric.
Okay.
How do we follow you on YouTube?
Yeah.
Actually, follow me on Facebook. It's better. I do a lot of videos on the Marilee Show, and then I also do it on my personal page, Marilee Klein Sweeney. So
Wow.
yeah, follow me there. And I was just.
We'll follow you anywhere, Marilyn.
I wanted to actually be of great minds for just a moment and offer a suggestion. When I asked you about how you get inspiration for writing your songs, and it's in that moment of pain typically that we gather some sort of emotion, right? Well, and then there's other times where we have no emotion and it's really hard to write.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So I would suggest, if you may, I don't write songs, but to listen to other people's songs, because what they're doing is they're pouring their emotion into their song. Right. So when you listen to it, you're going to understand what it is they're talking about. Write the same song, but in your own words.
Right. Wow, interesting. Good advice as well, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
That's nice too, yeah. Definitely.
One more last plug, gentlemen. Where are you playing this weekend?
Fallen Electric playing this weekend, and where can we follow you?
Oh, you got one more?
Yeah, I do have one more.
Go ahead, Marilyn, has one more.
If I can suggest everybody to go to adropofheaven.com.
Adropofheaven.com.
It's literally my message in a bottle.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Inspirational.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Oh, shucks, Marilyn. Thank you.
Now it's time to shut our live feed off because we're going to do
But first of
in
all,
studio
we
buddy shot for
appreciate
everybody
your-
here today.
We appreciate your military service, little lady. Thank you. Yay. Well, I'm trying to clap and film you.
I'm the ex-wife.
So, well, that means you did your time.
Okay, here we go. Say goodbye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Fallen Electric, Marilyn,
There's Dan
Josephine, Dan the Man, and Jeffrey
He's not
Sargent.
he's not aware of nothing. No, there
My
it
middle
is.
name is Josephine.
See you later.
Josephine with
See you
an A.
Monday.
By the
My
way,
middle name is Josephine.
Jeffrey Sargent is out real military Dunella to meet for free this weekend.
Okay.
Time for the group photo game. Guys, you were amazing.
Thank you.
I wasn't following up. I wasn't